Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Live in Italy magazine. If you are on your way to Rome sometime soon, you may want to head off the beaten track and visit the Castelli Romani area. Now, where is that, you may ask? Well, our guest today, Karla is going to answer that question. She is from the United States and married to an Italian, and they decided to build a life there and now offer what they call foodie retreats. So it's more than just a food tour. It's not your typical tour that you might find in the big cities of Rome, but they are going to take you to those hidden gems and give you an experience that you would really, really enjoy. My name is Lisa Morales, and I am the editor of Live in Italy magazine, a travel and lifestyle publication dedicated to all things Italy. So, Karla, welcome.
Hello, it's so nice to be here on this cold day. How are you?
Yes, it's cold there. Well, I'm in South Florida, as you know, so it's not cold. So what's the temperature there today?
Wow, probably about 61 degrees. So pretty cold for me.
Yeah, for you. So that's a good place for us to start. Let's start. I just said that you are from the United States. So from what part?
All right. I'm from a very small town in Georgia. I grew up on a beautiful 14-acre hobby farm with lots of trees in the back. We have a little lake, lots of animals. It was very, very picturesque, very lovely, with all the pros and cons that come with growing up in the South. It was really, really cool growing up there, and I really love it and visit as often as I can.
Oh, that's good. And I guess now that there's more easing, or well, the travel is back to normal, you're able to get back and see your family.
Yes, it's really, really nice. We were actually there during the pandemic. So we were stuck in Georgia for a while. Our son was born in Georgia because of the pandemic. So,
oh, really?
Yes.
I don't think that's not unusual, is it?
Maybe not.
We're pandemic babies. That's right. Well, it's good to know that you're back in Italy. I'm excited to talk to you more and get to know you and what Eat Castelli Romani is all about. So let's talk about we talked about where you're born and raised, but did you go to school there? Did you work in the United States? Because I know the first time we're going to get into that, you headed out to Italy. You were quite young.
Yes, I was very, very young, 18 years old when I first came here. So I wasn't in university yet. I wasn't studying. I took a study abroad program, which was independent from my university. It was a 6-week language immersion program. And I met my husband that way, and I decided to stay, and it worked out really well.
That is wonderful. And what a great romance story. And I know we hear about that a lot. So what happened between that time that you were 18? You know, how soon did you get together? You know, the relationship, was it a lot of going back and forth? Did Luca come to the United States?
Yes. So my 6 weeks ended up turning into 3 months, which was very, very nice. Yes, my in-laws were so kind to let me stay with them, and they were very warm and open and friendly. And so I stayed here for 3 months. After the 3 months, I returned back home to Georgia to get everything in order, to study. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll see how it goes. So I received an email from Luca talking about, oh, you know, I want to come visit the USA. I've never visited there before. It would be his first time. So he came to visit me in the summer. He stayed for 3 months, and during that summer, we got married. It was just us, no family. We just decided, why not? Let's go for it.
So you were so young.
Yes, very, very young. I had just turned 20.
Wow. So how did your parents feel about that?
They loved it.
Okay, great.
My parents are, yes, hippies from the 60s and 70s. Really, really cool. They loved everything about it. They're so, they love Luca. It's perfect. It worked out great.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is a great story. So did Luca enjoy his time in the United States?
Oh, he loved it. And he loves the South. he plays blues music. So the
Oh,
South is
wow.
perfect. So he got to be immersed into all of that culture, everything around. And my family is also filled with musicians, music everywhere. So he really, really loved it. And he has fun going back and forth now too.
So that's great. So when did you decide that you would make a life in Italy?
Well, let's see. That is a tough question.
Yeah.
It was probably something we never talked about, something that just happened. So
Mhm.
after we got married, we came back and then, we were thinking, okay, well, why not let's settle here? And I loved my life in Georgia. It was amazing. But we thought, let's try Italy. Let's see how it is. And we can always go to the US if we want to, but we found ourselves very comfortable here and we really, really like it. So it kind of just happened.
So about, how old were you when you both moved back? I'm presuming you moved back permanently, right?
I moved back, but I was still going back and forth at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been, let's count, probably 20, almost 21-ish.
21-ish years ago, or when you
Oh,
were
no,
21.
15 years ago.
Oh,
I moved
15
when I was
years
20,
ago.
21,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Because
It
it's
was,
trying to, yeah,
yes.
you were 21. It's just incredible to think about how young you were. But it sounds like you're both very serious and people, this is, thought out and you just were, meant to be, right?
Yes, we're both very spontaneous, and so it worked out great. We always have fun. There's never a dull moment between us. It's
Oh,
great.
that's good. So when you settled back in Italy, did you is this when the company started?
No, the company started later. I
Mm-hmm.
began my life, let's say, here in Italy as a Cambridge English teacher and an
Okay.
examiner, which is probably cliche. I know lots of Americans or English that come here start off teaching. And I did the same thing. So I did that for a while before we started Eat Castelli Romani.
Right. Okay. That's good. And I know if our audience tends to be a little older, but I know for younger people who've ended up in Italy, just like you, with study abroad programs and that's usually the entry point, which I haven't really gotten into before. But how did you find that teaching English? Because I've read kind of mixed reviews about that.
Oh, wow. I must say that I've had amazing experiences with teaching English here.
Mm-hmm.
The school that I started working for was amazing. I really, really liked the boss of the school. So nice. And she sent me to different schools. So I worked in different high schools, different middle schools, teaching, and it was really, really great. I must say that the students I had over my years of teaching were amazing. So kind, sweet, warm, and welcoming. And I'm very, very appreciative of the experience.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's good to hear. And I know that originally we had thought that Luca was going to join us today, but
Yes,
he's off on a tour today, and
on
we're going to get
tour.
more into that later. But tell us a bit about Luca. What was Luca doing in the early years that you were together in Italy? You said about the
Luca,
music.
yes,
Mhm.
the music, but he is also a teacher.
Wow.
Yes.
What does he teach?
So he graduated in languages and literature, and he
Mhm.
teaches English to Italian students, and he teaches Italian to foreign students, maybe at companies, and that's what he was doing before, of course, Eat Castelli Romani.
Oh, that's really interesting. That's good. So I'm presuming that you speak Italian, right?
Yes, after so many years, it took me a while, but I got there.
Okay, yeah. And so, what language do you speak at home?
Wow. Okay. Now that we have our son, it's a mix. So it's some English sometimes, some Italian, some Tanglish here and
Yeah,
there. But we talk to each other, Luca and I, in English. We
right.
started all communicating that way, and I guess it's just continued over time. But with my in laws, Italian, with relatives, Italian here.
Right. And so your son, because you said he was born during the pandemic. So how old is he? About just over a year?
18 months old. Yeah.
18 months. So I guess you're going to make more of an effort to speak Italian in front of him so he gets both languages. But if you stay there, I think naturally his first language will end up being Italian, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Oh, well, that's nice. I hope you'll send us a picture of him. What's his name?
Of course, Liam.
Liam. Oh, that's
Yes.
nice. Oh, okay. Well,
So
I look
sweet.
forward to seeing them. That's nice. So, let's get into, because even for me, Castelli Romani, I don't know if anybody who is watching or going to be reading the interview knows where it is, because you talk about on your website, come for Rome, but stay and eat Castelli Romani, Castelli Romani. So where is it exactly?
Okay, so everyone knows about Rome, right? It is the capital city of Italy, but not many people venture south to our area. So we're about 30 kilometers, 20 miles south of Rome. So we're really, really close.
So what's the best way to access the area?
Okay, so we also have a train station that is very, very close, that takes you from Termini, which is a central station in Rome, that takes you right to one of our towns, Albano. So you take maybe 3-4 stops and you're here. There's also an airport that is really close. It's a small airport, Airport Ciampino. And probably from there, it's about a 10-minute drive.
Okay, so very accessible.
Yes, extremely, yes.
So for somebody, first off, who didn't know about the region, how would you describe it in a nutshell? What could they expect?
Well, if they want to get out of the city and enjoy some country areas close to Rome, I'd say this would be the perfect green place. We have lots of natural beauty, lots of trekking trails, lots of forests, 2 beautiful lakes. It's very peaceful, relaxing. It's wonderful. I describe it as that because I love it. It's my home now. So I think it's a beautiful, green, lush area with delicious food.
It sounds beautiful. And I guess for you, it must have been a very natural transition because you said that you grew up in a rural area.
Yes. My adjustment period lasted not long at all. I was from Georgia to the Castelli, perfect, no problems. Maybe if I would have gone to a bigger city like Rome or Florence or Milan, it would have been different and difficult for me. But coming to another rural area, it worked out great.
So what about the people in your town and area? Is it a very close community, small?
Yes, very, very close, very, very small, but very warm and very, very friendly and very curious. I remember my early days here, I would get stopped and, people would want to know where I was from, what I was doing here, because they'd never seen me. Because, of course, here it's lots of, family-owned businesses, family-owned shop, and I was a new person in town. And so the curiosities, they were very friendly. I answered. It was very, very nice. So I can say, closed, but warm and friendly at the same time, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's good. That's really good to know, because I imagine sometimes, it's hard to come in as a foreigner, even if you're married to somebody from the area.
Yes. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I have lots of friends that have had those kinds of experiences. Maybe some who are new that, maybe they didn't adjust as well, or maybe they were met, with negativity. And, I understand. I felt more of that sensation that I left behind at home than here. It's been more warm and welcoming here than, unfortunately, at home for me.
Oh, that's good to know. So I think we should talk about Eat Castelli Romani. This is the company that you formed with Luca. So when did the idea come about?
Okay, wow. Probably a little bit before the pandemic.
Okay.
So we were talking about, our area and the foods and how there are people from Rome that come here to, taste our cuisine. They love it. So we thought, okay, Romans come for the food. We think the food is amazing. It's
Mhm.
delicious. Maybe Americans or other foreigners would like to come and, get in our secrets and taste our foods. And so it was born that way. And we also like the idea of, the Italian big tables and having everyone around it eating together from different places, cultures. It's beautiful to us. We really enjoy that. It's really, really nice. So we thought, okay, what brings people together? Food.
Right. So the idea came about, and like you said, I guess it was challenging because you said right before the pandemic, because then, I
Yes.
mean, Italy was in strict lockdown. So you had to put things on pause, I guess.
Yes. So things had to be put on pause with our plans. We did end up going over to America and we
Hmm.
continued with our plans and thought,
Right.
okay, we're here. Why not make it an LLC?
Right.
And so,
And I know you've mentioned that you're the only American owned company that is offering tours to your region.
yes, that is correct. And we are also ASTA certified, the American Society of Travel Advisors. So I think that
Mm.
is really, really cool as well.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So when did your actual tours, because you had the bit of delay with the pandemic, when did they begin? What year?
Last year, last autumn.
Last fall. Okay. So
Yes.
I think we should go into the tours because first of
Okay.
all, you use the word, both of you, it's your business
Mhm.
together, the word retreat rather than
Right.
tours.
Yes. Okay, so why retreat and not tours?
Mm.
For us, tours are amazing. They're lovely, they're great, but they are maybe a little bit too structured for what, we like to do with our guests. We like them to take some downtime, some time on their own to soak in the local culture, to meet with locals. Maybe they want to try some foods by themselves and go into a local market or a local shop. And so we use the word retreat because I know personally when I think retreat, I think, okay, relaxing, calm, peaceful. I can take in the atmosphere.
Right. So you bring them in, I guess, like you arrange for transfer from Rome. Right.
Yes.
And what could they expect? Because, like you're saying, is like they're going to have some structured time and then some time on their own. What could they expect? The tours are what, 7 days long?
We have 6 days. On the 7th
Mhm.
is when they return to Rome or if they're
Okay.
continuing or going somewhere else. So we have 6 full days, let's say. So we pick up our guests from Rome, sometimes at the airport, sometimes at the train station, sometimes they want to be picked up, but where they like. It's fine for us, no problem. And
Mhm.
so we pick them up and we take them to our agriturismo that we have picked out, or we also partner with a beautiful ex-monastery that overlooks Lago di Nemi. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful place. So we invite them there. Their
Mhm.
first taste of the Castelli Romani is a tasting menu that Luca and I have crafted with local chefs. So we have them around a table and we bring them about 10 courses. And that's their first taste
Wow.
that they can enjoy, with our local wines. Everything is laid out and they can enjoy, they can talk. If they're a group that maybe they don't know each other, this also gives them time to meet each other, get to know us a little bit more, get to know where they're going to be. They can tour the area a little bit.
Oh, that's good. So generally, so what you're saying is you will arrange for an actual group, or it could be people with their own group taking a tour. Is that right?
Yes, it can also be people. We've had people contact us that maybe they want to come in a group of 8, but maybe they're friends or they're coming, for
Mm-hmm.
a wedding party or it's a family. Or we have groups that are also, there's someone from America, someone from Canada, from Australia, from wherever. And it's completely spontaneous and beautiful and amazing.
So what's your ideal size for a group then when you're putting them together?
We like to keep it very intimate because of the way we arrange everything. So our perfect number is 8 to 10.
Okay, that sounds good. And generally, what's the process of putting people together? Is this because they're available that day, or you kind of look to see if maybe, I mean, I guess it's hard from a distance to see if personalities will match.
Wow, that is very difficult to see with the personality. So usually it's by date. And we give everyone the option if they want to have their own sleeping quarters, so their own room. Right. So that way, maybe if personalities, maybe you're better suited with someone and not someone else, it doesn't, conflict and cross.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, do they stay in the same place the whole time, like in the hotel? Like you have a hotel, or is it different places?
It's one place. For our weeks, we have one location where everyone stays, but we also do activities, of course, going out and about.
Right. So, so I want to get into the topic of food because I don't think you could ever talk about Italy without talking about food. And as we just passed October, which was Italian American Heritage Month, we were talking about how things have changed, through migration, that the food has adjusted according to, just like social circumstances and economy and stuff like that. But when you go back to Italy, it's very regional. It's very specific to the area, even within the region. So when you are trying to portray Castelli Romani, what can people expect as far as the cuisine generally?
Okay, so for the food, which is my favorite topic,
yes,
I have a long list of things to talk about. Okay. All right, so I won't go into everything, but I'll talk about our most popular dishes. Okay, so we have lots of Roman cuisine, of course, because we're very, very close. So amatriciana, that's very, very common around here. But carbonara also, when I say carbonara, I know everyone knows the carbonara with the eggs and the pancetta. But here we do carbonara amazingly. It's something special with pecorino, with guanciale. It's absolutely delicious. It's like Castelli comfort food, we like to call it too. It's really, really good. That is a dish that our guests talk about from the time they have it until the time that they leave. We get emails about this. They really, really love it. So our carbonara would be one of them. Also, copietti is very, very popular here. Very delicious. Think jerky, but not just any jerky. The jerky of jerkies. Dried meat and spices, pepperoncino. It's absolutely delicious strips of dried meat. Very, very yummy. Very, very good. And we also have bread. Oh, I didn't mention, every little city of ours has a food that they're known for, and that makes us a little bit special as well. So in Censano, we have pani di casareccio, which is delicious bread, crunchy on the outside, so soft and spongy on the inside. It melts in your mouth. It's delicious with herb oil. It's absolutely amazing. And in Arica, we have the famous porchetta. So a delicious seasoned pig roll that we're known for that. That's probably our most popular dish in the Castelli Romani. Good with everything. Good with bread.
I know porchetta.
Yes.
My mouth is watering.
Yes. The food. And then we have fragole di bosco from Nimi. Little tiny strawberries that are so sweet, that are delicious on tarts and ice cream everywhere. They're so, so good. So amazing. Let's see. What other foods? We have so many. Okay. So our wine. Let's talk about
yes. I wanted to get into that. But when you're done with the food, are you done with the food part?
So we talked about the carbonara, copietti, porchetta. Ciambelloni with vino. Fried donuts with wine. It's one of
Dipped in
our
wine, like a wine sauce.
baked fried in wine.
No.
Yes.
Sounds delicious.
It's very, 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 very good. You dip it, of course. It's not because you can't pump frying wine.
Yeah.
I will send you photos. It's very, very
Okay.
delicious. Very, very
Sounds
good.
delicious.
Yes.
So your guests on your foodie retreats, they get to experience this intimately with local chefs, but then they also get to visit restaurants as well.
Yes, we like to give them different food experiences, from tasting menus to visiting smaller restaurants to higher end restaurants, to having chef's tables, to going to markets, maybe picking foods from freschette of their choice, and sitting at a picnic table, and dining with locals. It's a very, all over.
Okay. And do they have an opportunity to learn how to cook themselves?
Yes. We also have 2 to 3 food courses each tour. So maybe we're learning how to make pasta. Maybe we're learning how to make pizza. Maybe we're learning how to make sides or fish from one of our lakes. They vary and they're seasonal.
That's amazing. It sounds so good. And I can tell that you're a passionate foodie. So, yes, which leads really me to the next thing, because they're a duo, as you know, and you probably know by now, after knowing me for a couple of months, I guess, that I love wine. So let's talk about the wine.
Okay. The wine. I am so sad that Luca could not join us today because he is the wine guy. I'm more of the food, but he is the wine one. But my little knowledge of the wine, it's amazing. So we have delicious local wines, mostly in the towns of Frascati and Marino, that are DOCG. And that is the highest quality of wines that you could have in Italy. And we take our guests to one of the most popular vineyards in Frascati, where guests can taste and sample all of the delicious wines. They can participate in wine events. They can taste wine with little snacks. It's really, really fun. So they get the complete wine experience. We also are going to include, this is new.
Okay.
So for the next year, we would like to have our guests actually visit vineyards by local producers, and help them pick the grapes. Do a night harvest, it's called.
Wow. So tell us, what goes into a night harvest?
Okay, so a night harvest, you have to go probably 6, 7, 8 o'clock. And our partners give everyone the little tiny eye microscope. I'm not sure the name of that. So we're looking for grapes, and you have to pick the grapes. We harvest them, put them in buckets, smash them, and get the juice out. It's really fun because it's at night. So it's really funny and fun at the same time. I really think that they will enjoy that experience. We've done it and we love it. So we thought, why not include this next year?
So I'm curious, because I've read certain things about night harvest, but why? Why at night?
Why at night? Maybe the grapes are better at night. I'm not an expert on the wine, but maybe they're easier to harvest at night.
I wasn't sure, and you'd have to ask Luca, and I guess we can investigate. But I think also with the farming technique, there's something about the moon. I don't know exactly, but I think I've read that. So I was kind of curious if that was the reason why.
Well, it could be
some kind of connection, or I don't know. It could be, myth, but.
Oh, wow. We're filled with lots of that here. So
yes, of course. That comes with rural, small town living too. So what's great, I guess, because I'm not sure when this video is going to be ready, but we know the article is going to be ready for December. So we're past harvest. So people who would have the option, let's say, to go and take a tour at harvest, which is probably an amazing time. And then now would be actually preparing the wine, wouldn't it?
Yes. Now we would
Bottling.
be, yes, bottling, getting it ready for shops to send to shops or to ship elsewhere. That is the time now, right before the holidays. Yes.
Right. And so like a lot of people think going to
Mhm.
Italy, of course, it's availability in holidays. Most people go, in the summer,
Right.
sometimes in the spring around Easter or
Mhm.
whatever. But what would you say is an advantage, let's say, from going from October until the end of the year or early in the year? Because let's say they don't go over Christmas, because I've actually been to Rome over Christmas. So it's a beautiful time to go, and there's obviously a lot of tourists there too. So let's talk about those in between times. Why?
Okay. So we really, really like in between times here. It's not an area that is filled with tourists. We don't get that many, a
Mm-hmm.
few, but not so many. And that's what we're trying to do, bring them in. So we like in between times because in the summer, while we're not filled with, tourists, we are filled with Romans. So in the
Right.
summer, Romans overtake the lakes, the restaurants, and everything is crowded and packed and
Oh,
full. So we like, tours in September, October, April, May. That's when you're just going to come and be with locals. You're going to feel like, a Castellian during those weeks.
right. That's really good to know and interesting, because like we always forget. Well, we don't really forget, but we tend to think that all Italians go to the beach in the summer, but they're also looking for the countryside and cooler places, maybe, right?
Yes. Yes, yes. True.
So authentic tourism, or conscious tourism seems to be a rising trend. And obviously with Live in Italy magazine, we're very committed to that. So it's been a tough time for small businesses, throughout the world, but we're focusing on Italy. So tell us a bit about the small businesses in your area. What has been the response to your impact of bringing in people to the area?
Okay, well, we like to help out and be within the local community as much as we can. So, local producers, local restaurants, with our tours, we love to use them all local. Maybe we like to use 5 out of our 10 towns one week. Another week, we use the rest. Whatever we can do to help them grow, to help them keep flourishing, we like to do that. We also like to partner with some wine shops to help, maybe guests that they like to ship wine home. So
Mhm.
that is something that I
Oh,
think does
excellent.
help.
That's good to know. It is really good to know. So, usually, it's
Mhm.
because you're in a more remote area? Because if you go to the bigger cities, a lot of people speak English. So, do
Right.
you usually have to kind of help with the translation, or do a lot of people in your area speak English or some English?
I will say that now it is a little bit more spoken than it was so many years ago. Because I maybe some of the younger people, because we work with people from all ages. So maybe some chefs now are 25 and they speak a little bit more English. But with the older partners that we have, we do have to do some translation, but the guests really like that experience. It's authentic, it's real,
Of course.
it's fun. So maybe a chef comes out and explains their food in Italian, we will explain it to them in English. So they know what they're
Right.
getting because some menus aren't in English still here.
Yeah. And I think for anyone, because I'm learning Italian, being put in this position with the magazine, and it's also when, we went to Italy, like I
Mhm.
always want to be by market. And I felt very helpless because I couldn't. So I think here's a great opportunity if you are learning the language, that it's going to put you in a position that even with or without your help, they're going to be immersed into the language. And so
Yes.
the shopkeepers and the local
Mhm.
people and the local artisans and that, they've been very welcoming to foreigners then.
Yes, very, very sweet, very, very kind. They even try to speak.
Yeah. And it
Very
has been a nice
warm.
opportunity for them to be able to share,
Yes.
what they do with a different
Yes.
audience, right?
Yes. And they really, really love it. This area, I have to again commend it on its warmness and kindness, and everyone is so friendly and love, seeing where's this person from, where's that one from. They want to learn. It's like a cultural exchange.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to know about
definitely.
everyone else.
It's a kind of ironic that you went for an exchange and here you are giving this exchange experience to others now. Right?
It's silly how that works. Yes.
Yeah. But I can see how much love you have just, in speaking to you, seeing you. That's just beautiful. You're very passionate about that. So where do most of your visitors come from? What country?
Okay, so we are an American company.
Mhm.
So mostly they've been from the USA. For upcoming tours, we've actually had some requests from Sweden, from Germany, from the UK, Australia, even Japan.
Wow, that's great to
Yes,
know. And how do they
very,
find
very
you
fun.
generally?
Through our website
Mhm.
or on Instagram.
Okay, and we're going to put all those links below. They'll be below in the description. They'll be in the article, and of course, at the very end when we wrap up, you can shout out. So they just happen to be looking, and then they find you, and they're curious,
Yes,
right?
right. Or maybe they have visited Rome, or maybe they're in Rome and maybe they're looking for day trip from Rome.
Ah,
And we
okay,
come up.
right. So are there different options? They don't necessarily have to go for 6 days. They can go for a day trip, like you said, or shorter stay.
We are working more into the day trips because we have gotten requests for day trips, which we're
Mm-hmm.
doing one right now at the moment. So
Right.
we are looking into doing more of those because some, yes, maybe they're in Rome for 2 weeks, but they want to come, and see how it is in this area and then come back and do the 6 weeks with us. But just, a little
Oh,
taste.
that's good. So it is totally possible to do a day excursion.
Yes, absolutely.
But you recommend really to get to know the region that it's probably better to stay at least a couple of nights, right? Wouldn't be the
Yes, to
same
get
thing,
the
would it?
experience. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so as you know, I'm just quickly looking down my questions. And I don't think you've pretty much told us everything, so that's good. Okay, here's a good one.
Yes.
Post-COVID, people are anxious for travel. What do you feel are and will be the differences in the way we travel and experience new cultures in 2022?
Okay. Wow. This is already a drastic difference from last year. So
Right.
last year with guests, they needed still to have COVID tests, COVID vaccines before they came.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it's become more lenient with some of the restrictions going down and changing. Also, our service. So now we can put back, our long tables that I was telling you about and have everyone,
Right.
seated together. It's not a person skip a space, a person skip a space. So I think that is going to improve tourism a lot. It can make it, again, more intimate. People are less afraid to travel now, I think, than they were, yes, even last
Right.
year.
And do you feel that more people are looking, because especially also too, people that gone to the major cities and the major sites in Italy, do you think they're looking now what we call experiential travel for experiences, something more connected and authentic, like we were talking about before? It seems like a lot of us has changed just our outlook in life, what we want. How do you feel about that?
Yes, I would agree wholeheartedly. Yes. So maybe people have visited the bigger cities, they've seen them, maybe they haven't, but maybe now they want something smaller, something more intimate that they can feel like, I'm a part of this. And they really, really want to get immersed into the local culture and everything, not just see, okay, we're going to see A, B, C, D,
Yeah.
they're going to go talk to people, they're going to make friends. It's going to be, a beautiful, loving diverse experience.
Yeah, and I think we've also gotten something that maybe these times have shown us is not to always have totally structured and scheduled time. That sometimes it's good to have some breathing room, and you allow for that, right? That's why you call it a retreat.
Yes, absolutely. So some of our partner housing, agriturisme, there are pools, there are gardens. So if some of the guests want to relax and do that, they can. We also, if they want, take them to town and they can spend, a few hours in the city just walking by themselves, looking at artisan shops, shopping as they like.
Right. And something that you were saying, agriturisme, which is the plural for agriturismo. I'm sure most people know what that means, but why don't you define that for us?
Okay, so an agriturismo would be a country house, like a little country inn, not quite a bed and breakfast, a little bit bigger, but lots here are still on working farms. So that is really, 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 really cool. So a country hotel, I'd say.
Yes. And here's an opportunity to, they be specialized in what they make or produce as well. Right. And a lot of these things are, I think with the slow food movement and that, like they are kind of guarded, preserved traditions as well, like whether it be a cheese making or whatever. So what are the specialties, let's say, of the agriturisme in your area, for example?
Okay. Wow. So we have kiwi. Not many people would think so.
What did you say? Kiwi?
Kiwi, yes.
Oh. Okay.
Right. That is another surprise.
Yeah.
So kiwi, there are, of course, mostly wine, agriturisme that we have. There are some that do cheese, but pig farms, so porchetta.
Right.
So yes, lots of yummy, delicious things and kiwi, which is delicious, but a surprise for this area.
Yeah, fascinating. So, as you know, this area of the magazine is called Chat with an Expat. And I say this every time now because some people just dislike the term expat, even though it rhymed. That was really the purpose. But you are an expat. What would you say is the definition of an expat?
Okay, so an expat is an expatriate, right? So someone that leaves their home and goes to another one.
Right.
I like the word immigrant, I'll say. Expat is fine for me as well, but I am an immigrant in this country. And I think that being an expat or an immigrant means that you leave your home. I keep my home in my heart, of course, but you leave it and you go to another country. Maybe you're searching for better working conditions, maybe for love, maybe something new. It would be right. I would describe it as being an immigrant, someone that goes to a new place.
And you're right. And I think, as, North Americans, we tend to not use that word, but, fully kind of accept it for other people who come into the United States and who actually don't have a problem with the word. I think the reason why expat has become a term that a lot of people don't like, and it sometimes is the case, is that people who go into a foreign country to either live or spend a long time there tend to just stay within their own community, wherever they came from. So like British people with all British people or Americans with all Americans. So you're not fully adjusting and adapting. So you made a conscious choice, obviously for love. Okay.
Yes.
But you also make a conscious choice to embrace your new country, Italy, right?
Yes, absolutely. But going back to my teaching experience, that was an experience that was amazing, but it was very, closed. We were a bunch of Americans, Canadians, Australians, teachers from the United Kingdom. So it was very, and lots of them stayed, in their bubble. All of their friends were, and I wanted to, be with, the locals. I wanted to, adjust to that. And my best friend here is Italian.
Mm-hmm.
She is lovely. So I wanted to mix in. I want to keep my old teaching friends as well, but I wanted to, branch out. I was also very young, so I had a little bit more, I want to be friends with this person, with that person. Maybe that's why. I'm not going to say that if I came now at 35, would I still be that way? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I would find more comfort in being with people, like me. But when I say like me, that's also a situation that I've had to deal with. I dealt with my study abroad program, and I've had countless emails about it that, have really warmed my heart, because being a woman of color in a tourism travel sector, I had so many people reach out to me saying that, maybe they don't feel that Italy is for them. Maybe they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to visit because there isn't anyone that looks like them. Maybe if they go to a bigger city, they like to venture out, but they're not so sure. And so they talk to me, and I like to be that friendly, reassuring face that it's okay. It's fine. It's warm. It's welcoming. Come visit.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know, because it is hard. I think it's a big decision to make. I mean, obviously, you went there for marriage, for love,
Mhm.
and to start your life there, but it's still a big decision. That's not easy, is it?
No, not at all. But in my spontaneous 21-year-old mind, I thought, why not?
So generally speaking, what were some of the challenges you faced initially?
Okay, well, the language was
Mm-hmm.
a big barrier for me,
Mm-hmm.
because in the Castelli, there are also lots of different dialects. So every little
That's
town
right.
that is close by, there's a different word for this and a different word for that. So me hearing, two different words for the same thing was very confusing at first.
Right.
I've
Right.
adapted to it, and it's become easier over time. But the language barrier was definitely the most difficult for me. Yes.
Right. And especially, I mean, because you seem very animated and a talker too. I know that that would be an obstacle for me, not being able to express myself in the way that I want, you know.
Yes, and I'm very handsy too. I've been trying to, control it, but being here so long, I like to talk with my hands
That's
and,
okay. Yeah, that's good. So, what do you miss about home when you're not there?
Oh, sweet Georgia. I miss the weather. I miss my
Okay.
family. We are very, very close. My parents, super awesome. They are amazing for letting me do everything that I've done.
Uh-huh.
My brothers, I have two older brothers. They're super cool. We just speak every day. They're like my best friends. And
Oh,
I miss them so much. And of course, I'm going to say my mom's country cooking. I
yeah.
absolutely miss the soul food, the warmness, the presence. I really, really miss it. There's
So
something
has
special about
Luca
that
had
part
a
of the
chance to
town.
enjoy the soul food, the home cooking Georgian food?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Several times. He
Does he like
loves
it?
it. Yes,
Oh, good.
loves it. Yes, yes, yes. He really, really likes everything that my parents cook. So, the traditional Southern food, fried this, fried that.
Very
Very, very
different,
good.
but
Yes, very
delicious. Very
different, but
different from
very,
Italy, obviously.
yes, but very delicious.
Yummy. So has your family been to Italy?
They have not been. No, my family is a family that, we are from this town. Some have ventured out, maybe, to Florida, to Ohio, but nowhere further than, that. And most are a town over. So they're just good,
Wow.
small town kinds of people. I'm the dreamer. I'm the,
I was just
I
going to
wanted to
say
go.
that you were born with adventure in your soul, right?
Yes, I am the adventurer of the family. Everyone else, likes to
Uh-huh.
stay close. Like my brothers are still probably 2 minutes away from my parents.
Right.
Very, very close. I'm the one who, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to see the world, the
Yeah.
adventurer. I guess
Right.
that
So
spirit is in me.
do they plan to go, do you think, sometime in the future?
Definitely, yes. They would really like to go. Yes, all of them would love to come, and I really hope they do. Hoping for next summer.
Right. So are you an Italian citizen then?
I do not have Italian citizenship. No, I have not done the process. I
Right.
probably will eventually, but I have not done that.
But it doesn't sound like there's any need for it right now.
Maybe not now, no.
Yeah. And then vice versa, I guess, for Luca too.
Right.
At some
Yes,
point.
because we're here. Yes.
Yeah. You can have you well right now, no matter what, it was citizenship or not, you have the best of both worlds. And so you can be back in the United States whenever you want.
Right. Yes,
Right.
we can go back and forth. And that is a beautiful, amazing, wonderful thing. It's great.
That's good. So one thing I always ask is that, I don't know if you had a chance to think about this, but what do you plan in the next 10 years? Where can you see yourself personally and also Eat Castelli Romani, the business?
Oh, wow. Well, personally, I like where we're going. I'm very, very happy. We love our little life. It's very, very sweet. Maybe, I don't know. Right. We'll focus on Eat Castelli Romani, but we also like where that is now. Maybe we'll add more day tours, but we like having the intimate appeal of it with the 4 groups a year, keeping everything small. We really, really like it. So we're very, very happy and hope to continue on like this. That would be the perfect 10-year dream for us.
That sounds wonderful. And both of you being educators too as well just makes, I can just tell, you've got that teacher in you. You want to share things. You want people to learn and grow. So that sounds wonderful. So it was wonderful speaking to you. So before we wrap it up, I'd like you to tell us clearly. And of course, below we'll put all the links and put it in the article. And you're easy to find, but tell us how to find you.
Okay. You can find us by going to our website, eatcastelliromani.com. And we are also on Instagram. So instagram.com/Eat Castelli Romani. I'm still a little bit, not involved with all of these things. I have an old soul.
Actually, you're easy to find. I mean, a couple of times I just had to look it up. Yes, look up Eat Castelli Romani. Can't miss it. And, like the key word there is eat. So, it's going to be an adventure. Yes. So Eat Castelli Romani. And something we didn't talk about. Castelli, obviously, is the plural for castello, which is
castles. We are also the Roman castles. Yes.
Yeah. So I imagine you must have a lot, right?
They are in pieces, but yes, we do have some.
Well, there are some ruins to discover. Yes, some great history ruins, food, culture. Like I said, get off the beaten path. Sounds like a wonderful, wonderful, immersive adventure. I hope you all have a chance to investigate their website and their Instagram. You have some beautiful pictures and descriptions there. So many things that you can learn and discover, and just from a short distance from Rome. So it was great speaking to you. Again, we are Live in Italy magazine. Very easy to find on the internet. It's www.liveinItalyMag.com, and then you just use @LiveInItalyMag and you can find us everywhere. So I hope the next time that I'm in Rome, I'm going to get off the track and come visit you.
Yes, please do. We would be so happy to have you. And I know Luca is so upset that he couldn't be here. Yeah. He would really like to meet you too. You've been so kind to us. Very sweet and warm and welcome.
Yes, we'll give him our best, but I know he's giving somebody a very wonderful experience right now. So much understood, but we hope to talk to you again.
Perfect. I look forward to it. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.